fighter kites are kites used for the sport of kite fighting. Traditionally most are small, unstable single-line flat kites where line tension alone is used for control, and an abrasive line is used to cut down other kites. Kite fighting is done in many countries, but is particularly associated with Afghanistan, Bangladesh, India, Nepal, Pakistan, Vietnam, Korea, Thailand, and the slums of Brazil. Materials: in most traditional fighter kite manufacture, the skins of kites are made from a lightweight thin paper and the spars are usually made from a lightweight and flexible wood, usually bamboo. In modern American fighters, the kite skins are made from a variety of synthetic materials: mylar, aircraft insulation, nylon, and polyester sheeting. The spine may still be bamboo, but often along with the bow is constructed of fiberglass or carbon fiber. Line equals, historically, for most Asian-type fighters, a thin cotton or hemp line is coated with a mixture of finely crushed glass and rice glue. In recent years, synthetic line has been coated with a variety of abrasives and stronger glue. Also, there have been some reports of metallic line being used. Some cultures use line that has metal knives attached to hook and cut the opponent's line. Traditionally, players use a paste of some sort to toughen their line. The primary components of this include glue and crushed glass, but depending on personal preference other materials are added to improve the properties of the line. In line touch competition, synthetic braided fishing line, 15 to 20 pounds test, is used due to its low stretch and high strength for the line diameter and weight. Waxed cotton, linen line or latex can also be used. Names Spectra, a brand of fishing line used for American kite fighting. Power Pro, a very thin, 0.25 mm diameter braided fishing line used for American kite fighting. Manjha, the cutting line used in India and Pakistan. TAR, the cutting line used in Afghanistan. Hilo de Competencia o Hilo Corrado, the cutting line used in Chile. Door, the string used to fly the kite. The sharper the string, the better it is. Pench, when two or more kites are fighting to cut one another. Gilasan, the cutting line/thread used in Indonesia. Bridle and tuning, bridle position, spine curve, center of gravity, and balance of tension on the spars all play a role in how the kite spins and tracks. Afghan and Indian fighter kites and their variants have their bridles attached in two places on the kite's spine. The first place is at the crossing of the bow and the spine. The second attachment is 3/4 to 2/3 of the total length of the spine from the nose of the kite. The length of the top line to the toe point is the length between the two bridle to spine connection points. The length of the bottom bridle to the toe point is between 1/2 inch to 2 inches longer than the length of the two spine connections. The spine of the kite has a slight convex curve toward the face of the kite. To make the kite spin more, the upper bridle line is shortened. To make the kite spin less, the lower bridle line is shortened. Left and right tracking are adjusted by either placing weight on the tip of a wing, or by weakening the bow on the side that you want the kite to track towards. The design of the kite plays a role in the tendency for the kite to spin and pull, and how much wind the kite can handle. Bridling and tuning are only effective when the kite chosen is able to handle the amount of wind that it is being flown in. If the wind is so strong that the spine and bow are severely distorted, no amount of bridle tuning will help with making the kite controllable. A crude method of making a kite flyable in overstrong wind, used in India where the kites are cheap and regarded as disposable, is to burn small holes in the flying surface, typically using a cigarette. Kite fighting: when the kite is flown with the line taut, the kite is deformed by the wind pressure, giving it a degree of stability. When the line tension is reduced either by letting out more line or by the flyer moving into wind, the kite will begin to become unstable and begin to rock from side to side, or in extreme cases even spin. By reapplying tension at the right moment, the kite will move in the direction that the flyer requires. Although a spool that allows rapid winding and release of line is used, often the flyer will fly the kite by holding the line itself, with one or more assistants to help manage the slack line between the flyer and the spool. Line cutting contests: Many of these kites are flown with an abrasive coated line. Most kites are flown with a set length of manja at the kite end. The manja is very sharp, and to avoid getting hand injuries most competitors use ordinary string for their hand position. Some cutting involves knives of some sort attached to the tail, line, or kite. Competition rules vary by geographical area. 2 or more contestants fly their kites. The person who cuts the opponent's line wins the fight. In multiple kite matches, the person with the last kite in the air is the winner. The 2 most common types of cutting are done with abrasive coated line, release cutting or pull cutting. To release cut, once the lines are in contact, both parties start to play out line until one line is cut. In pull cutting, the flyer quickly retrieves line until the opponent's line is cut. There are many factors in who will win the event and include the size of the kite, the quality of the kite, the quality of the line, the quality of the abrasive on the line, the quality and size of the spool handler, initial contact, the skill of the person flying the kite, and the wind conditions. Capture or grounding competition, 2 or more kites are flown. Competitors try to capture their opponent's kite and bring it to the ground. The person or team who succeeds is the winner. Expert kite fighters are able to cut their opponent's line and then encircle the trailing line of the cut kite. Once secured, the winner can then fly both kites and pull in the prize. Those not involved in the kite flying can be kite runners. Many children die every year when they run into the path of vehicles or fall off roofs or, occasionally, with the fiberglass string cutting the flyer's fingers or neck. The glass on the string is said to give the kite cutting teeth. By country, the various countries where fighter kites are flown all have their own specific styles of kites, rules for fighting and traditions. In many cases there is a season, or a special occasion particularly associated with kite flying. Afghanistan kites used range from 0.5 meter to 1.5 meters across. The usual name for the sport is Gudaparabazi and for the cutting line tar. As elsewhere, the line is traditionally made with a cotton line and coated with a mixture of crushed glass and rice glue. However, nylon string with stronger glue is now often the preferred line. Kites can go up to 3,500 meters in height depending on the size of the kite. From 1996 to 2001, the Taliban government in Afghanistan outlawed kite fighting and kite flying by declaring it un-Islamic. After the fall of the Taliban government, kite fighting has returned to the country. Brazil In Brazil, kite fighting is a very popular leisure activity for children, teenagers and even young adults, particularly boys from poorer areas. As in other countries with similar traditions, injuries are common and motorcyclists in particular need to take precautions. The traditional kite has pentagonal shape, but simple diamonds similar to fighter kites elsewhere are also very common. Caribbean Most Caribbean kites are hexagonal, flown with a tail, and instead of cutting with glass-coated line, use sharp objects attached to the tails to try to cool other kites. Variations of this style exist throughout the Caribbean and Haiti, Cuba, Trinidad and Tobago, Curacao Sectional and Suriname. Chile Fighter kites are known as volant and they are square-shaped made in like paper and bamboo sticks. Traditionally they fight in September, when the spring winds are arriving to the Chilean coast. India Fighter kites are known as petang in India. In many others, kite flying takes place mainly during specific festivals, particularly the spring festival known as Basant, during Makar Sankranti and more recently on Indian Independence Day. Bangladesh As part of the Shakran festival, people mostly from South Dhaka city engage in kite fighting. They fly kites mostly from the rooftops. The festival is held in the last day of the Paush month. Japan The Nagasaki hata is similar to the Indian petang, and it believed to have been introduced into Japan, from Indonesia, by Dutch traders. It is highly maneuverable and fought with glass-coated line and line cutting contests in a similar way to kite fighting in many other countries. Another type of kite fighting in Japan uses very large kites requiring teams. In these contests cutting line is not used, but instead kites are forced down. The festivals occur at Chiron and Hamamatsu. The Coup is 1-2m high hexagonal kite fought with teams of players flying each kite. Both the Coup and the smaller rectangular bicker have been adopted and further developed by Western kite enthusiasts. Korea equals, the Korean IGHTE kite, the bangpian is a rectangular, bowed o shield kite with a hole in the middle of the sail. The frame uses Ove bamboo spars one each across the top and the a waist of the kite, a spine, in two diagonals. Although cutting line in fights are similar to other Asian fighter kites, a large spool is always used. Nepal equals, kite fighting in Nepal is especially active during the festival of Dashain. The skies are filled with colorful kites called changas, made from Nepali lokta paper. The line used is coated in crushed glass in order to cut through the lines of rival kites. When a rival line has been cut, the victorious team shouts Chet to claim their win over the other team. Pakistan equals, kite fighting is common in all over Pakistan, but mainly concentrated in cities of Punjab and Sindh region including Lahore, Faisalabad, Gujranwala, Karachi, Islamabad etc. While city of Lahore is considered as the capital of kite battling in South Asia. Kite flying is considered as the culture of Lahore. In the past, kite battling had a status of sports in Lahore, and those kite flyers were termed as kalari, or sportsmen. The kites that are manufactured for battling are very different from the conventional kites as they are especially designed and made for this purpose. Each of these kites has some special abilities for battling which make them unique from each other. According to history, Akbar the Mughal emperor, who lived in his residence in Lahore from 1584 to 1598, enclosed the city with brick walls and 12 gates of considerable height and strength. One of the gates, called the Mokai Daraza, or Cobbler Gateway, is the most popular site in Lahore to buy and sell kite flying and firework materials. Cup, Petang, Guda, Naklaw, Pan, Tukal, Muchal, Farfarata, etc. are some of the kites used in the battle, and they vary in balance, weight and speed through the air. Kite flying is currently banned in some regions of Pakistan as some kite flyers engage in kite battles by coating their strings with glass or shards of metal, leading to injuries and death. Threads for kite battling are manufactured using special glues, chemicals and crushed glass and are numbered based on their ability to cut other threads and to handle kite's weight. It is a social event in Pakistan that happens once a year. Basant in Lahore, city of Lahore is famous for its Basant or Spring Festival throughout South Asian communities. People from all over Pakistan and few from neighbouring India come to Lahore to annually celebrate the 2 days long Basant or Spring Festival. This festival is mostly held on last weekend of February or March. Festival is started on the night of Saturday. People battle white-coloured kites, organize parties and arrange loud music on their rooftops throughout the night till morning. White paper kite shimmer in the night sky, diving soaring as rival flyers joust, duels marked with the battle cries of Page, and victory cries of Okatawa. Every success is celebrated with Bhangra dance and beating of traditional drum. Mainly centered in Lahore and Faisalabad, people spend thousands of rupees in preparing different types of kites and threads best suited to battle. Homes are also decorated with lights and decorations for evening festivities for the next day. United States equals, the Korean shield kite, the Japanese Coup and Nagasaki Hata, the Brazilian Pion, the Chilean fighter kites have been used for demonstration purposes at various large kite festivals throughout the country. Fighter kite competitors in the United States use a variety of innovative kites from a wide range of designs and materials for line touch and skills competitions. Fighter or single-line maneuverable kites can be found flying throughout the country at many kite festivals. A championship competition occurs at the annual convention of the American Kite Flyers Association http, Kite Org events. Problems. Accidents equals, in India, Pakistan, Brazil and Chile, there have been reported accidents involving the abrasive coated cutting line. These accidents range in severity from small cuts on the fighter's fingers to a few reported deaths from contact with the line while riding motorcycles. In recent years, the fighting lines have evolved from the traditional cotton, rice and glass line to nylon or synthetic line coated with metallic or chemical abrasive compounds. To prevent further injury, many countries have implemented restrictions or bans on the use of cutting line. Some have set limits on the materials used to make the line, others have mandated safety devices on motorcycles when riding during kite festivals. People have been injured while fixated on capturing a cut kite. Other injuries have been due to not paying attention to one's actions while watching battles. Most of these accidents are preventable when fighting is strictly controlled to a specific arena and proper safety gear is worn by the fighters. Other accidents have occurred due to the masses of people present during large kite festivals for which kite fighting has taken the blame. Environmental difficulties the kite strings left around after the fight can become stuck in tall trees and can stay there for many years, impacting the natural aesthetic of parks and wilderness areas, thus degrading the experience of other park users from the trash that is left about. Stray animals have also been known to get trapped and injured on kite lines that have fallen closer to the ground. Types of kite: Benang Gilis and Kelad Hairy Wibai Product Gdari, Layangan Aduan, Layangan Palembang, Palembang, Indonesia, Lokta Changga, Indian fighter kite, Pakistani fighter kite, Tukal, Hata, Rokaku, Afghan fighter kite, Shield kite, Chula and Pak Pai, American fighter kite, Pipas, Volantines. See also, kite running, the practice of running after and catching kites drifting in the sky which have been cut loose in battle with other kites. Manja or Manjha, Hindi for the abrasive coated fighting line is used in Pakistan and India. Basaun Panchami, Spring Festival of Hindus celebrated with kite flying in India. Shakrane, Bengali Kite Festival, Uttarayan, the kite flying festival of northern India. The novel The Kite Runner, and the movie based on it. References. External links: Cyber Fighter website, Fighter Kite Central, the North American Fighter Kite Association, Pakistan tackles killer kites, Indian fighter kite designs, Kite Heritage, Indian Kite Collection, Kite India, Origin, History, Definition, Kite Flyers Indian official website, India's largest bamboo fighter kite world record 2014, American Kite Flyers Association.